of 2024. Now, Yashwant, I don't want to start by giving away the big picture. That would be like giving away the last chapter of a mystery novel. So let me first ask you a big political overview. Don't tell us the numbers just yet. A political overview, something that could still become an X factor in the next few months, and then we'll get into the four regions of the north, south, east, west, as your survey has projected them. Go ahead, Yashwant.
Barkha, there would have been a significant number of X factors provided the Congress would have performed really well in the current round of assembly elections. As you know, that even in our numbers earlier, even though we got what Rajasthan, Telangana, even Chhattisgarh were in that line. However, in case of Madhya Pradesh, we were started because the overwhelming emotion on the ground was for a change of sorts, even though it wasn't anti-incumbency. But what was on display, Barkha, was a sheer display of organizational strength and campaign by the leading faces right on the top. So why I am mentioning that is because even though when we get numbers and there is a glass half full and glass half empty kind of thing, and we are more programmed to look at the numbers from the anti-incumbency perspective largely. What surprised us to the extent of not only that the BJP managed to overcome that sense of fatigue, not anti-incumbency, but fatigue, and the lack of Congress strength on the ground. That is what was startling for me, honestly. Why I am mentioning all this right now is simply because when you ask that what could be the X factor, those X factors were more quantifiable. Those X factors were could have been more visible if the Congress would have pulled off at least one or two such states. Telangana, I am not counting because that was writing on the wall, and we have been saying also for the last 1.5 years what was going to happen in Telangana. So I don't know. The answer to that question is that yes, I understand a week is a long time in politics, Barkha, but when we talk about that proverbial rabbit from the hat or a black swan event like 2004, let's keep in mind that a black swan event is considered a black swan because it's rare. It's something out of the box. It's not supposed to happen all over again and again and again. And but more so, that black swan was possible in a different context in 2004 when Mr. Vajpayee was a prime minister with 182 seats. Mr. Modi became a prime minister with 282 seats. So there is a huge gap even from the rabbit scenario. Honest answer is unless something really, really drastically black swan kind of thing happens, I don't see it going in any other direction.
Right. So let's get straight to the regions. And I want to start with the north. There's been a lot of debate, whether there's a regional divide in our politics. So let's call this, as you have sometimes referred to them, as the Hindi-speaking states in particular. And, the domination of the BJP in these states is almost complete. Look at the numbers that the ABP-CVOTER survey, your survey, is projecting. Between 150 to 160 for the NDA and 20 to 30 for the India Alliance. Now, this is startling, and I want to bring up the vote percentage as well. If we look at it, if we bring up the voting percentage, but Yashwant, go ahead and tell us. This absolute there's 50% mark for the NDA in the Hindi-speaking states. How do we explain this? This is really, as it were, the gud of the BJP's politics. Yashwant.
Exactly, and also, Barkha, when you look into the vote share, you look into the gap, and that gap explains you what kind of seats might turn around in that particular region. And let's not forget, this not also includes couple of states where BJP has been literally absent. It's not just South. For example, Punjab, BJP on its own and just without Akali Dal, it's a no-show, no-go territory. Kashmir Valley, for example, Jammu BJP is present, but Valley 3 seats BJP has been completely absent of sorts. So if you look into the vote share, you will realize this is a very conservative vote share estimate, honestly speaking. Because when we ask,
I
particularly
mean,
in these
you're
two,
looking. You mean you're looking at a higher percentage than 50? Can we just switch to
absolutely,
the
yeah,
vote share slide for a moment? You're
yeah,
basically saying that 50% for the NDA is a conservative estimate.
in the north, yes. In the north, yes. It depends on different kind of turnouts in different states. For example, the states which went to the poll and BJP just won the election, polling about 45% approximately on an average. Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. But the Lok Sabha voting intent was almost like 55% in these states in the same election when we did the surveys and the post poll surveys during this exercise. However, my my assessment says that I will not be surprised that BJP ends up crossing 60% in these states when the final polling happens. Because what happens is that if this is the number that they can pull off only on their organizational strength, then you need to add the face of Mr. Modi and the lack of any face that opposition parties have as such. And also keeping in mind that these are precisely the states which are BJP versus Congress, direct contest states, and this is, I will not be surprised, Barkha, that a big number of states I can actually, count on my fingertips in that way. Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Himachal, Gujarat, and Uttarakhand. These are the states where BJP's vote share is very well in the range of right now 55% plus, and it can very well cross the margin of 60% plus at the final voting. But
Let's. Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
but
but the
but but
problem with that kind of voting also is, Barka, that that kind of a huge gap will is likely to take the BJP's vote share, national vote share, be above 40% individual vote share. But the number of seats gonna remain the same. I mean, if there are 180 seats in the north, that's what the cap
yes.
is. It's not going to increase the number of seats for them.
I get that.
Similarly, yeah,
I
that's
get that.
that's a
I get that. But it still makes a big political statement, even if the conversion to seats can only be so far and no more. Now, let's pick up one of these states, Uttar Pradesh, right? And I pick up Uttar Pradesh for two reasons. One, it is, they say you can't win Delhi if you don't win UP. Two, UP is an interesting case where there's the Modi factor, but there's also the Yogi factor. And three, there is the Ram Mandir inauguration that is going to take place with Tam Jham and a lot of sort of pomp and show in January. And there's already, before I come to the UP numbers, there's already a growing controversy over who's going to attend, who's not going to attend. For the Congress in particular, this presents a dilemma. The dilemma being that there are pressure groups within the India Alliance who are saying mat jao. But if they don't go, then they face the familiar tag of being seen as an anti-Hindu party. This is an unnecessary controversy. The verdict came from the Supreme Court. In my opinion, every political party of India should attend.
absolutely, I totally agree with you. And even if you don't kind of believe in temple thing, even if you are non-religious, whatever your personal belief may be, if you are in the business of politics, Barkha, not attending the ceremony is kind of a political hierarchy. I mean, in as simple
Yeah.
layman's term. So yes, I understand that they fear that they are playing into the BJP's code, that heads I win, tails you lose kind of scenario. But what they are not realizing that by not attending, they are giving further ammunition.
Yeah.
This is a problem with their game plan in entire thing. You may very well, and I have said this in more occasion than one, Barkha, that they can win elections being pro-Muslim, but they cannot win any election anymore by being treated or being branded as anti-Hindu. And not attending these functions will certainly add to their anti-Hindu branding.
So you basically say that you understand the apprehension that the political advantage of any of the Ram Mandir movement will go to the BJP, but you're saying that there is a distinct disadvantage possible if parties like the Congress and others in the opposition in the India Alliance choose not to attend.
Absolutely. I mean, that is something with a head start. I mean, and I honestly speaking, I will not be surprised if Akhilesh Yadav actually goes and joins that, attends that. I will not be surprised if other opposition leaders who are really not bothered about the particular school of secularism or particular way of the definition of the secularism might, like for example, CPM has said that they are not going to attend. It's like their political ideology or whichever way. I mean, उनके पास खोने को कुछ नहीं है यार. I mean, look, come to look at it, come to think about it, they don't have anything to lose further. But I doubt that Congress should be doing that. If they do not do, it would be problematic for them. That's a very clear assessment as at the moment. Somehow, still, people are not really reading correctly the undercurrent of this event, or the undercurrent, or the significance or the importance of what is going to happen in Ayodhya. They are still, completely out of sync with what kind of impact this event is going to have. And if you do not go, it's one of those kind of things which are going to remain plastered with your image for rest of your life. That's what my assessment is.
And when you say that you think that Akhilesh Yadav will, in a sense, break ranks if needed and attend the Ram Mandir inauguration, in a way, what you're saying is that the India Alliance cohesion, ideological cohesion, will be tested on how different parties respond to the Ram Mandir movement.
Possible. Say, for example, Akhilesh might decide to go, or Akhilesh might even say, I will not go on that day because they are making it a political event, but I will go for a darshan later on. Something of that sort. But I don't think that he will be probably boycotting for the sake of Muslim vote. I mean, that's how I look at it. I mean, even though politics is unpredictable, I may be totally wrong, but I can also sense that given a chance, Barkha, big number of even regional Congress leaders would like to attend, given a chance. But if Congress makes it a party line, thou shall not go, otherwise thou shall be suspended from the party, something of that line, then it's a difficult proposition.
That's very interesting that even left to themselves, a number of Congress leaders would want to attend. Now it's very instructive what the UP numbers in the ABP-CVOTER survey are telling us. And I want you to talk a little bit about, in most of the other states, and we'll bring up those numbers, it looks like it's the Modi juggernaut all the way. But UP also has the Yogi factor. And of course, Madhya Pradesh had the Shivraj factor. It didn't necessarily make him the chief minister. Rajasthan, to a much lesser degree, had a Vasundhara factor. When we look at the UP numbers, can we just have the UP numbers on our screen for a moment? What do the UP numbers tell us? Look at the Congress. Look at the Congress and allies between 4 and 6. It basically tells you that there is no anti-incumbency with the BJP in the heart of the Hindi heartland, in the heart of India. There is no anti-incumbency at all. And there is no increase, no gain for the Congress. And it's even a party like the Samajwadi Party in UP.
No, none, zilch, nada. Yes, we talk about that impact of double engine sarkar or Yogi and Modi combination over there. Yes, it is a pro-Modi kind of sentiment. Good thing about Yogi is that he is only adding to it. He is not taking anything away from it. So that's the impact of that. As far as Congress is concerned, Barkha, we did the seat-specific assessments as well for ABP. And our assessment at this point of time for Amethi was that the same candidates, the margins would be even bigger for the BJP candidate in Amethi.
Which is Smriti Irani. Yes, I think we have that slide, and let's bring that up because there are two seats I want you to talk about: Amethi and Rai Bareli. Exactly. Rai Bareli is currently held by Sonia Gandhi. Amethi is, of course, currently held by Smriti Irani. Now, talk a little bit about both of these seats.
So, if Amethi happens to the same kind of thing, Rahul Gandhi versus Smriti Irani, at this point of time, our trackers are showing the margins would be even bigger for Smriti Irani. Number one. Number two, Rai Bareli looks safer for the Congress, provided Mrs. Gandhi decides to contest that. or if at least she is replaced by no less than Priyanka Gandhi. Any third person on that seat, for example, Rahul Gandhi, if he contests from Raebareli, might probably win because of Sonia ji
So
going
it
there
has
and
to be a Gandhi candidate in Raebareli for
yes,
the Congress to hold on to Raebareli, basically.
Raebareli. Now, two conditions. It has to
Yeah.
be a Gandhi candidate, number one. And number two, it has to be with proper support of Samajwadi Party. God forbid, if there is no alliance between SP and the Congress, and SP decides to give a candidate in Raebareli, it's over. So it has to be a proper India alliance Congress candidate with complete and full support of Samajwadi Party, and it has to be one of the three Gandhis to contest in Raebareli. So that is the one sure shot seat that I will count as the Congress seat in Uttar Pradesh. Apart from that, rest of the seats, are Samajwadi Party seats and one seat to RLD. That too, if Jayant decides to contest himself, being very very upfront about it. So barring that, so the Manpuri, Ajamgarh, family pockets with the family faces contesting upfront in those seats. These are the 6 seats or 4 to 6 seats that opposition can still manage to clinch on. Otherwise, beyond that, I don't see much happening. Mayawati, unless seamlessly gets into a Congress plus Jayant plus Mayawati plus SP kind of a coalition, then it might be a keener contest on the ground. Then it might be a contest of 45% to 50 versus 50% of the BJP. But without that, it's gonna be a contest of 15% gap.
So basically, what you're saying is that the India Alliance seat adjustment will be tested even in Gandhi family pocket boroughs like Raebareli. And when it comes to a seat like Amethi, Smriti Irani versus Rahul Gandhi will mean a Smriti Irani win. I don't think Rahul Gandhi is coming back to UP in a hurry, even though the left is actually asking him, why are you contesting from Kerala? And all of, because, isn't your main opponent the BJP? So all of these contradictions are going to be exposed. I want you to speak a little bit about Priyanka Gandhi. There's a suggestion that Sonia Gandhi may not contest this Lok Sabha election, that this could mark the debut of Priyanka Gandhi from her mother's seat. But in every other way, Priyanka Gandhi leading campaigns in Uttar Pradesh has come to naught. Now, if you see, she's no longer the general secretary in charge of the state at all. What does that tell us, Yashwant?
Well, it's a sorry state of affairs, Barkha, because arguably from numbers, when I'm reading the numbers about different leaders and their popularity rating and their approval rating, Priyanka was their best bet in Uttar Pradesh, but unfortunately for them, they just wasted that bet in a bluff, kind of thing, in a blind bluff, playing a game of poker or whatever they call it in that way. Last assembly election was certainly not the election where Priyanka was supposed to be invested in Uttar Pradesh. If it was complete bipolarization of the state, and Congress was just kind of crammed out from the competition. It was not even in the alliance with Samajwadi Party. Had they been in Samajwadi Party, still they would have made some sense that okay, 20-25 seat कुछ जीत के आ गए with 2 seats and 2.5% vote share, they are nowhere in the picture. So I think Congress big time wasted their name like Priyanka Gandhi, and I जिसके भी सलाह पे किया वो उनसे जाके पूछे, that's their headache to.
तो आपके मुताबिक प्रियंका का पॉलिटिकल करियर अभी तय नहीं हुआ. We don't know for sure what is her political worthiness. It is an untested or a wasted series of opportunities.
हिंदी में वो कहते हैं बंद मुट्ठी लाख की खुल गई तो खाक की. वो मुट्ठी खोल दी इन लोगों ने. यूपी इलेक्शन में
enigma mystery सब खत्म हो गया.
And she was a very good bet, let me tell you. I mean, she was drawing bigger crowds than Rahul Gandhi. Any given day, whenever we have run the numbers between the two siblings, Priyanka's numbers were way more than Rahul Gandhi. No two opinion about it.
Is that still the case after Bharat Jodo Yatra?
That is still the case, by the way. But again, it is done and dusted. At least in Uttar Pradesh, it's not there anymore. You have kind of wasted that one big thing that you had to encash anytime in the future.
So
It was a
imagine
wrong time and wrong
imagine
place.
if it were a Smriti Irani versus Priyanka Gandhi battle. Not that I think
Oh,
it'll happen.
that would be a really good one. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be a mouth-watering contest, let me tell you. No doubt about that, because it will not carry probably the Rahul Gandhi's negativity over there. Rahul Gandhi shifts to Raebareli. It will be safer for him. And Priyanka goes on to challenge to Smriti Irani. But having said that, uh, Smriti Irani has kind of worked on the ground uh, that probably Amethi has not witnessed its elected member of parliament to work the way that she has. And it would be a
You're bunching up a bit, Yashwant. Let me just recap what you've said so far. Yeah. Let Yashwant Deshmukh making the point that Smriti Irani is slated to win by an even bigger margin in Amethi this time. That if Rahul Gandhi were to make the mistake, a political mistake, as it were, of returning to Amethi, he would lose. If Priyanka Gandhi were to enter that contest, it may be different. You were making the point, Yashwant. We lost you briefly about Smriti Irani's work on the ground in Amethi. Go ahead. No, Yashwant. I still can't hear you. I still can't hear you. So I'm going to give you a moment to just reconnect with us. In the meantime, I'm just going to play out a statement of Rahul Gandhi. The India Alliance has had a big rally in the last few hours. Let's listen to what Rahul Gandhi had to say, and we'll come back to Yashwant. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a Congress rally in Nagpur and not an India Alliance rally. Let's take a look.
देश में विचारधारा की लड़ाई चल रही है। लोगों को लगता है कि राजनीतिक लड़ाई है, सत्ता की लड़ाई है, वो है, मगर इस लड़ाई की नींव जो है वो विचारधारा की है, और दो विचारधाराओं की लड़ाई हो रही है। बहुत सारी पार्टियां हैं, एनडीए में है, इंडिया अलायंस में है, मगर लड़ाई दो विचारधाराओं के बीच में है।
Okay, Rahul Gandhi there talking about how the fight is between two vichardharas, Yashwant. Is this a vichardharaon ki ladai? Because the point is that vichardhara jo India Alliance ki hai, wo ek koi cohesive vichardhara to hai nahi. That's one question, and then we'll return to Smriti Irani and Amethi.
Well, certainly not. वो कोई एक विचारधारा भी नहीं है, and they cannot even endorse each other even on the question of can Rahul Gandhi endorse what DMK leaders have been stating all along? Can he endorse that? I mean, if it is a vichardhara ki ladai and if they belong to the same camp, let him come out and say that I fully endorse what Marans have been saying, in that way. So obviously there are different shades of even secularism and different shades of opposition thinking, and I mean, come to think of it, when you see Uddhav Thackeray on that stage, can they ask Uddhav Thackeray, for example, to go against the idea of 370, that okay, can they ask him to criticize that this government has done a wrong thing? Can they ask Uddhav Thackeray that okay, you must criticize the inauguration of Ram Temple? That's right. Obviously there are different shades of even there, which is a healthy thing to happen. But to make that sweeping statement that okay, you are either with us or you are against us kind of thing, if you are playing on that line, then obviously it is going to have an issue. It is going to have a problem with the larger electorate.
Absolutely. And I want to return briefly to UP. and the point you were making about Rai Bareli and Amethi, once loyal Gandhi family pocket boroughs, you're saying Rai Bareli needs not just a Gandhi, but no third candidate from, let's say, a party like the SP. But let's come back to Amethi. Smriti Irani said that no Gandhi will ever win from Amethi again. This was the Congress was targeting her daughter on allegations connected to a restaurant in Goa. Not to revisit that case, but Smriti Irani, you were making the point about her work on the ground, and she was able to take a victory on the basis of many voters in Amethi saying कि राहुल तो जी हाँ आते ही नहीं है.
I don't have the actual numbers. Probably I never did that kind of number crunching. But I will not be surprised, Barkha, that Smriti Irani's total number of days spent in Amethi in the last 5 years might outnumber the total number of days spent by all the Gandhis altogether in last 30 years.
It's worth looking at. It's worth looking up those numbers.
Yeah, so it's worth looking at those numbers, and I will not be surprised if Smriti Irani tops those numbers. So when you are on the ground, on that kind of impact making, it is difficult. Not to take that thing seriously. It's very difficult to take that thing lightly. And if she is oozing with the confidence that किसी को भी आने दो फर्क नहीं पड़ता, then it is coming from a confidence of being on the ground. You may love her, you may hate her on different aspects. Anybody can do that. But I think as a parliamentarian who has won from Amethi and been there and has been there, she is somebody who nobody can ignore from that perspective.
And I don't actually see Rahul Gandhi coming back to Amethi as a candidate anytime soon, but let's see what happens. Now, in the meantime, another state that is in the headlines is Bihar. And Bihar is in the headlines, and we'll bring up the Bihar numbers for all kinds of reasons. Nitish Kumar said to be in a sulk after Mamata Banerjee sets the cat among the pigeons by talking about Mallikarjun Kharge as a possible prime ministerial face. Rahul Gandhi has to get onto the phone and dial Nitish and say, Abhi kuch tay nahi hua, and so on. There's also a churn reported within the JDU. Paltu Chacha, as he has been called in Bihar on the ground for the number of times he has changed sides. ये भी rumor शुरू हो गया कि क्या पता इस बारी भी. Now, if you look at the Bihar numbers, yet this is assuming that Nitish and the Congress and the RJD all stay together. There is an advantage. There is an advantage in that alliance. Let's take a look at the Bihar numbers.
Yeah. So one number which actually went on here yesterday, Barkha, that was very interesting because we ran a snap poll in Bihar for ABP. And we asked this hypothetical question, should he be coming back to the NDA? And if yes, what would be your reaction? The JDU supporters were kind of 50-50 in that way. But to my surprise, or rather not surprise in that way, I was kind of anticipating that kind of feeling. Huge number of BJP supporters were against the idea.
Against the idea of taking Nitish back, even if he were ready.
Exactly. Huge number. So what it is telling me is that the JDU numbers are heading for a virtual split. Right. Virtual split in a way that there is a section of JDU voters which is completely likely to go with the RJD, and there is another JDU voter which is likely to go with the BJP altogether. And BJP supporter on the ground is not at all happy with even the remotest idea of Nitish Kumar making a comeback within the NDA fold. So if the BJP goes ahead and does that, that would be pretty much against the wish of their own cadre, rank and file. I don't know if the BJP leaders have those kind of numbers, or are they looking at those numbers very carefully or not, or they feel that arithmetic is more important. But the numbers on your screen where you see a Congress plus is basically RJD numbers. One prediction which I can make on your program as on today, Barkha, is regardless of which alliance JDU is, regardless of where Nitish Kumar is tomorrow, 2024 elections will come back with the historic low number of JDU member of parliament, no matter what the contest is.
Is this election going to be Nitish's swan song in a way?
Possible, because I have never seen the popularity or numbers or approval numbers crashing so drastically within a given period of time. The way I am looking at the numbers of Bihar Chief Minister, they are heading south in such an alarming way that defies gravity.
And how do we then understand this fight over who will be the president of the JDU? Has Lalan Singh actually resigned or not? पहले आती है खबर कि उन्होंने resign किया, फिर आती है खबर नहीं किया, वो meeting अभी जारी है. How do we understand how Nitish Kumar came undone in the way that he has, that today even a Mamata Banerjee can stand up and literally create what another journalist called calculated mischief by saying Mallikarjun Kharge ko aap declare kar dijiye. And that takes me to a very important point. Does the India Alliance need to declare a prime ministerial candidate? By calling it a Vichardhara ki ladai, it's the same old script.
Well, Mamata Banerjee is a very, very intelligent politician, Barkha. She has done, great job for her party by saying this on two different parameters. Number one parameter, she knows and understands that a Rahul versus Modi fight is not going to make her life easy. Taking Rahul Gandhi out of the equation and with a neutral candidate like Kharge, which doesn't carry the baggage of any negativity, she might still win majority of the seats in West Bengal on her own. She doesn't need, but she knows that for her campaign, Rahul Gandhi is a kind of liability. That's why, number one thing. Number two, as far as Nitish Kumar is concerned, she understands pretty well that his political stocks are out of favor at this point of time. Tejasvi Yadav is the one to bet for in Bihar. He is the future as far as the non-BJP opposition politics in Bihar is concerned. The lad is, brilliant. He enjoys significant popularity. Right now, in our numbers, he's the number one popular leader in Bihar as for the post of chief ministership. BJP doesn't have that kind of a face or any other face to replace him in that way. So he has the brilliant future. But as far as Nitish Kumar is concerned, his stocks are absolutely down, depleted, and out in that way. So Mamata Banerjee knows that, and that is why rather than taking any name, be it Nitish Kumar, be it Rahul Gandhi, which might be a liability for her in West Bengal to campaign, she actually asked for a name, a Dalit name, a Congress president name, which doesn't carry, which is a kind of a neutral Greer kind of a thing for her. And then she can put her own step, her own engine, and take it to the next level. So she played what her requirement was.
I still